What's happening, y'all? Welcome to the 2026 State of Ambient Address. I am your host, Chris from Signs of Life. How y'all doing out there? Good to see you. Anticipation indeed. What's going on? Dior's in the house. Hey, Owl's in the house. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome in, welcome in. Realms of Possible here. Yeah, so we are here for the State of Ambient in 2026. I thought I would do a sort of check-in style video. You know, we do a lot of these on Patreon. I do the Science Check-In series. I'm also doing the monthly Q&A every month. But it's been a minute since I did a official public live check-in. And yeah, I thought, you know, the time is now. What a more perfect time. Welcome in, Shellbeat Studios 47, to do a State of the Ambient Music Address. And yeah, this is exciting because we're in an exciting time in human history. So why not sit around the campfire for 45 minutes and talk about the thing we love. So anyway, I've got a full presentation here planned for you. If you guys can hear my voice loud and clear, I'd like a confirmation on that in the chat. Good to see all your shining faces. Checking in from Duisburg. Welcome in. Hello from cold Florida. Florida is rarely cold. I wish I could send some of this beautiful California weather your way, man. It's been... January was insanely good. Loud and clear, Chris. That's what I like to hear. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So let's get into the presentation. Before I start, I want to remind you that if you like this work and you appreciate this work, there are multiple ways to support me and this channel. You can check out the links down below in the description. I offer one-on-one ambient coaching. I offer a wonderful mentorship program, which really can be transformational. And even if you're, you know, just starting out and you're considering, or you think the ambient mentorship program is out of reach, that's actually not the case. You know, I could walk you through step by step how to create ambient music from scratch. And if you're further along in your journey, I can certainly help you as far as artist development, the technical side of ambient music, and so much more. So check out the links down below. And as always, this channel is on Patreon. Okay, so let's get it going. Thank you guys for being here, truly appreciated. And yeah, so here we go. The State of Ambient, the current state of ambient. Let's just start where we are now. I think that's the most appropriate thing because, like I said, we're kind of at this point in human history that it's like we're walking into the Wild West here. And there are so many things happening all over the globe in so many different sectors, you know, and music production is just one of those things. But it happens to be the thing that we're most passionate about. So, you know, there's lots of factors here. So anyway, let me sort of break this down and go through all this. So I didn't want to make this presentation about AI because I feel like AI is sort of, sorry for that transition. I feel like AI is sort of, you know, I don't know, it's around, but it's not the central focus of where we are right now. And even though AI's, you know, presence in the room is like undeniable, it's still, you know, it's still something that we have to talk about because AI is sort of like, you know, on everyone's minds, right? And it's also driving the prices of computer hardware up, which in turn affects us as ambient music producers. So it's kind of like, well, that sucks because even if you don't care about AI is still affecting you regardless. Because, you know, 10 years ago, I would say, oh, you know what? You know, getting started in music production is easy. You just go get a computer and, you know, go grab some free software and, get yourself going right away. But nowadays, and even like in the span of 365 days, last July, okay, that's even less than 365, like 6 months ago, you could go buy a computer and, relatively like, okay, that's what I expect. Maybe the graphics card is the highest price. But we were talking about this the other day, but the RAM prices for the computer alone are like sometimes more than the computer. And all because of what? Like, that's one of the, contributing factors. So that out the way, we also have this whole AI music creation thing where people are creating AI or using AI to create music from scratch. And people are like, oh, well, I do it the old school way. I use plugins, I use the DAW. That's not going away. That's not going away. And I want to kind of shift your mindset around this to kind of make it a little more lighthearted, because I feel like if you're kind of looking at like all doom and gloom, that's the wrong approach. The right approach is to kind of take it like, you know what? It is what it is, right? It could be kind of cool too. Cause all right, let me just give you an example. This is a funny quote that I found from a guy who's been around the scene for a while, right? We actually knew each other at one point. But no, robots and AIs will get gas too. No worries. So, like if AI takes over, they're still gonna get gas regardless. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about this too. There was a report that I saw, and it was Suno's AI music uploads surpassed Spotify's entire catalog every 2 weeks. Now just think about that. Every 2 weeks, people are generating like 100 million tracks. That's just mind-blowing. Like, wait, what? And this is coming from EDM, a music blog, whatever you have. So let's go further. So it says, if the sound of the future is AI generated, it's already playing on a loop at a deafening scale. Suno's user base, most commonly men aged 25 to 34, now that's square in the face of Gen Z, are spending an average of 20 minutes crafting each song. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Which, I mean, listen. As an aside, I have this neighbor, direct neighbor, great guy. He generates AI music and he puts it on YouTube, and he has an artist name, and he always like texts me and says, hey, new song just dropped. And he he writes the lyrics and he lets like Music LM or whatever write the music, and he loves it. He loves music, but he has little music talent. So he's one of those people, right? Obviously he's not in the 25 to 34 group, but he's still, you see what I'm saying? You got to be lighthearted about it, okay? Because people who are unexperienced, like you and I are, they are now creating this music from scratch. That simplicity is part of the controversial platform's appeal. With nothing more than a text prompt, users can produce full-length tracks to compete with instruments and vocals. Now, this is the thing. I kind of want you to kind of say, all right, that's happening, but at the same time, it's not going to take away what I do or the value of what I do anytime soon. And that's why we're here, because it doesn't make sense for you to sort of say to yourself, well, if that's happening, then I don't want to do it, because that's the wrong approach. You have to have the internal drive to want to do it, and therefore propel yourself into that position where you're doing it now. Because right now, the concrete is about to dry, okay? Meaning that we've been in this, like 10 years ago, you could say, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put that album off till later. But now, you can't do that anymore. You either are in it or you're not. You see what I'm saying? You either are doing the thing or you're not gonna be able to do the thing, right? So I want you guys to get in the mindset, like, don't worry about all this. Obviously that's gonna affect the computer prices or whatever, but we're gonna find a way, okay? And I didn't even mention synthesizer hardware and Eurorack, that's a whole separate story. But stuff that runs on computers, that's gonna go up. But if you set yourself now with the mindset, like this is what I'm doing, this is exactly what I'm doing, anything can happen, all right? So let's go back to the slide. All right? Cool, let me check in with you guys. We'll go back to chart number 1. Yep, it's all about self-exploration for me. I agree. AI can create stunning art in seconds, but I'm also a part. Exactly. Word. Okay. Welcome in. So anyway, So we've got that. All right, let's put that aside now. Okay, cool, AI can do that, that's great. And we got AI powered plugins, cool. But we also have a lot of innovation in this space. And I also wanna mention that too, because I think that's cool. Innovation is like one of the key defining factors of what we're entering into 2026 with. We have synthesizers like obviously Serum 2, right? We have Zebra 3, which is gonna be so good this year. It's gonna be so good. We have new companies like Ultra who are like breaking the boundaries of what we thought synthesis could be. That's cool, right? We've got all these other, effect plugins and stuff coming out. But, that's great because that means that these are traditional tools. As you probably know, AI doesn't use Serum 2 to make its tracks. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do that. It uses tokenization to analyze different patterns in songs and then recreate that with tokens, with little bite-sized chunks of code to create different music. All right. It doesn't use all the other stuff. So don't worry about that. Now we also have another thing going on, which is a lot of people, whether you want to admit it or not, are sort of like becoming interested in spirituality. Now this started several years ago, right? And ambient music naturally is sort of, correlated with spirituality. It's like, oh yeah, ambient, I kid you not. In 2013, if I said, yeah, I'm an ambient music producer, people look at me like, oh, you produce new age, yeah? Like they would say to me, oh, you produce new age? And I'd be like, no, I produce electronic ambient music and I'm actually quite good at it. And they're like, oh, cool, right on, nice. Like, it just didn't make sense, right? But nowadays, when you say, I produce ambient music, people think, oh, you're in that realm of like spiritual people. You do spiritual stuff. And, but there's a lot of people who are like getting interested in learning how to meditate. They want to go into altered states. They want to kind of get an escape from this world. Now, just today on our Discord, somebody who's here in the chat right now posted that Insight Timer, which is actually quite a big platform now, is actually asking people to submit tracks. Why? Because people are actively looking for tracks to listen to while they sleep. Which I was like, oh, okay. I mean, Insight Timer I've followed for several years. They've gone from a free app to like a teacher-based platform to now one of the largest platforms for meditation, teaching, guided meditations, and now music, which is kind of interesting. You're like, huh, they do music? There's a huge market economy on Insight Timer. So if you are into this kind of thing, like if you produce like this style of music, you might want to consider putting yourself on Insight Timer, okay? Because there's a lot of people who are looking for this music. Now, this is a later part of the presentation, but this is like goes into like kind of like self-promotion, like where do you put yourself these days, okay? Like where do you put your music? I'm gonna get into all that, right? We're gonna get into that. But I just wanna make you guys aware that right now they're actively seeking members or producers because they don't have the technology yet to produce music themselves, okay? Or they haven't gone that far. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm just gonna let you know that it's out there, okay? It's out there. Like, this could be a thing if you want it to be a thing, okay? So that's the whole, wellness aspect of it. It's kind of out on the fringes, but it's still there. Then we also have the whole spatial audio thing. Now, this to me is not as much of a big deal yet because we still don't have, the full on hardware that everyone needs to have this. Now, I've been talking to, elders in my community. I've been talking to a lot of people for a long time about spatial audio. Like, what is spatial audio? How is it going to affect? Because we really wanted to do it. Like, even in 2013, I was talking to Stephen Hill, the great illuminary Stephen Hill, and he was like, yeah, I really want to start doing these shows, like big dome theaters with 365 speakers around your head and, just doing ambient. We still haven't gotten there. We've gotten there kind of, but we're not there for everybody yet. You know what I'm saying? Like our headphones, even though they have spatial audio, not many people are producing spatial audio music because it's hard to do. And not too many DAWs support it. Logic supports it. I think Cubase does, maybe some other ones you guys probably know, but hey, you know, it is what it is. One of the coolest music experiences I ever had, though, this is the total aside, is I met with a guy, my partner Don and I, we actually got invited to Dolby, like the old school headquarters in San Francisco. And we went to Dolby where we met a guy named, I'll just leave out his name, but anyway, he was one of the oldest guys there, like meaning he'd been there for a long time. He's tenured for 20 years. Anyway, so he had taken 4 of our tracks, and this was in 2017, mind you. This was like at the kind of like the beginning of Atmos. He mixed our tracks in Atmos, and we got to sit there in the original Dolby Theater in 2017 by ourselves with the guy, and he played our tracks. And this is Ascendant Music. He played our tracks back in Dolby Atmos. I kid you not, it was the freaking most amazing thing I've ever seen. I was like, wow, dude, like my sequences were like going around my head. The bass was underneath me. The freaking hi-hats were coming. Like, it was nuts. I was like, what? Like he'd separated out all of our stems and then spatialized them in Dolby Atmos. I was freaking mind blown because I was obviously in ground zero. I was in the theater. It was this old school building in San Francisco where they had fully made it up with all these different speakers, and it was badass, I have to admit. So, you know, hopefully like a lot of stuff will come out like that where we'll be able to do that. But again, don't worry about the AI aspect, because you're going to be the ones who are producing the music that's going to get there. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be get there. Yeah, I'd love to go to the Sphere someday. I'd love to go to the Sphere. I'd love to go to the Sphere. I heard about it. It's kind of not that close for me, but anyway. Okay. So that's where we are now, okay? We've got this AI thing, we got rising costs of hardware, but a lot of people are kind of gearing towards this whole spiritual angle of it, but then it's also moving forward into the future, all right? So let's go on to chart number 2 here, because now we have the foundations. Because the foundations are why you're here. You're obviously interested in ambient music. You're obviously enthusiastic about this whole genre, else you wouldn't be here right now, okay? This channel exists because like you guys are in the same, you know, mindset as me. You like this kind of music. You are passionate about this music. And that's one of the reasons why this isn't going to go away. This is never going to go away. We're here. We're, like I said, the concrete is about to dry if it hasn't dried already. And now we're moving into this reality together. All right. So like I said, it's like a lifestyle. It's a way of life. And I've been talking about this for years. Okay. As personal infrastructure, not a genre, okay? This is like, you live this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just somebody who's like, yeah, kind of like it, you know, it's cool. No, like you actually wake up in the morning and you go, oh, that pad sound. I really want to dial that thing in. Oh man, how does science get a sequences like that? I want to try it. You see what I'm saying? You're already on that level. You're already like, I am just, it's the blood that flows through my veins, okay? Because you're not just like a creative person, you're somebody who intentionally listens to tracks. You really do. You know what I'm saying? You really are all about that life. So that's why you are gonna be one of the leaders moving forward. Not one of the followers, not one of those, 25 to 35-year-old men who's just creating Suno tracks. That's not you. That's not you, okay? You're leading the way, okay? Again, no disrespect to those guys who are making EDM tracks. That's cool, because you know what? They're training their ears to hear certain patterns, which is going to unlock things for them. So when they finally do step to Ableton Live or Bitwig or Logic or whatever DAW they want to use, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I need a transition here. Oh yeah, I need a sequence here. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure the tracks are great. You know, one of my favorite couple playlists on YouTube, I have no idea if the tracks are real or not, but it sounds damn good. I'm like, oh, I love this. This is good. I think it's real. But anyway, so that out the way, there's a lot of things that you can do with ambient music as a daily tool, you know, that you could offer people, right? And it's more than just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. Okay. Now, let's talk about this whole long form thing, because the long form thing is really popular on this platform. And, you know, I fully support this. I'm like, I'm down with this. You know what I'm saying? Because I think like that's one of the other reasons people are turning to places like YouTube and places like, you know, whatever. They want to listen because they want to listen and they want to focus. Okay. That's one of the biggest words in our genre is focus music, like focus listening, focus music, like listen to this to, you know, sleeping stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I've done several tutorials on my Patreon specifically about this long form ambient stuff. You know, we have artists like Eternal Depth, we have artists like Obsidian Soundfields, we have artists like Obsidian's, not what is his name, Spacewave Cosmic Ambient, right? These really good, high quality artists who are putting out real music in long form. Now, admittedly, some of them just make 15-minute long tracks and then they just mix them together to make them an hour long. Okay, that's something that's kind of a thing. I've done the whole hour long thing. It was very difficult, I have to admit. Making long form tracks a whole hour long, it's a thing. But I encourage you that if you want to start promoting yourself, you might want to start one of these styles of channels, because it can only help you. You know what I mean? Like it can only like encourage people to come listen to more of your stuff, right? And so it's not a bad thing. It's more like this is what people are looking for. So even though it's sort of a trend right now, and I guarantee you in 2 to 3 years, the lines between, oh, I made this music and AI made this music is going to blur. And when you call up music on your phone, it's just going to be created for you right on the spot. You know, it's just going to be like, oh, Alexa, play me some ambient. And it'll just be like, and it'll just be like totally AI generated. You know what I'm saying? Like Spotify, play me an ambient playlist for an hour and let me just work. It's just gonna be AI generated. Whatever, that's their thing. That's not your thing. You know what I mean? That's not your thing. Now there's also the argument like, oh, like I really, you know, what if these long form tracks just turn into AI generated, but like, will I just give up? You know, that's on you. You know what I mean? Like that's something that comes down to intrinsically who we are as human beings, you know? And this is a cultural question that we're all starting to look at is what is this thing, right? Is AI just a fractal of who we are? And how much are we going to like separate ourselves from it or integrate ourselves with it? You see what I'm saying? It's a big deal. So obviously you guys can kind of tell which camp I'm in. I'm pretty much, I mean, this slide was created with AI, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's okay though. Like, it's because I'm communicating the message. You see what I'm saying? I'm integrating with it. I'm not polarizing against it, because if you move out of the polarity, then you can be free, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so that's the long form thing. I highly encourage you guys to go check that out if that's something that you might be interested in. It doesn't cost anything to get a channel started, and it can be a great way to promote yourself, which I'll get into in just a second. So the other thing is we're blurring the genre lines, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, like ambient's this one thing, and often it gets associated with chant or new age or stuff like that. But, you know, listen, there is a certain aesthetic and a texture about ambient music that people are gravitated towards, and they don't know why, right? Your job as an artist is to find that resonation point that resonates with your listeners and then go towards that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so people find different styles of music, right? Whether you make your listen. Good point. So as an artist, you can blend different styles, different genres, and make your own sound. You know, when I started Signs of Life back in 2012, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing until I started putting things together, trying new things, and eventually the sound of Signs of Life started to come out. And I was like, oh, there it is. That sounds like something that came from me, right? And that's what Language of the Ancients became. The first album from Signs of Life, Language of the Ancients, was just me going as hard as I could at this certain thing until finally the sound came out on the other end about what that's the sound that I wanted to hear. I'm like, okay, that's it. And I still do that music to this day. Now, so that's the other thing is don't be afraid to kind of cross genres, but it's all about the signal, not the noise. Okay? It's all about the signal and not the noise. So your job as an artist is to find that signal. Don't trap yourself in any genre label. Just find whatever that signal is and move towards that signal. and then broadcast that signal, okay? We're in how do I call this? Vibrational times. So just broadcast that signal out as far as it can go, all right? And that leads into my fourth point of this slide, which is the direct artist ecosystems over platform dependency. That is huge, 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 because we see all these different, platforms, softwares, everything is consolidating, because a lot of these big companies are like, oh shit, we know that this is gonna change. We know where this is going, right? And Bandcamp came out just about a month ago and said, we're not allowing AI on this platform. No, period. Like, that's it. It's not gonna be an AI platform. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's platforms for AI music, generating music, and there's platforms that are not going, and Bandcamp is one of them. So if you really wanna get your music out there in an authentic way, Bandcamp will still be your thing. Yeah, silence is a language. I agree. Is silence a language? Absolutely. Anyway, so that's the way you build a sustainable support. A lot of people ask me all the time, Signs, how do I get my music out there if I'm just starting out? How do I even get my name out there if no one knows my name? It starts inside of you, all right? It starts with the intrinsic motivation to get your name out there. And a lot of people think I'm not ready yet. Dude, you're ready. You're ready, okay? There's no waiting for this anymore. There's no more like, oh, I'm gonna do this next year. Like I said in the beginning of this presentation, the concrete is about to dry. So don't get left behind, okay? Start this process now. And even if it's in the mental aspect of it, hopefully this video will help shift you into that right mindset, that now's the time. 2025 was the warm up. That was like, okay, let's get this set up. 2026 is go time. Okay, now the future, because here we go. We are headed right towards the future, okay? It is coming. It is not something that's in the distance. It's not something that's like, oh, that's gonna happen later. It's now, okay? So this is it, all right? We have all these different evolving genres. And again, this comes from us. This is our thing, okay? We have all these evolving genres that are starting to come out. It's like, oh yeah, wow. Some of these genres are good, some of them are bad. It doesn't matter, because again, like anybody can create anything now, you know what I'm saying? But your job as a human being is to create things that resonate with you. And if it resonates with you, it's gonna resonate with other people. I guarantee it. Okay? It's not about old school versus new school. It's not about, oh, did I make this myself or did I not make this? Just make it. Just make it. Okay? Just create it. Okay? Because we have AI and music that's in the room with us now. We weren't talking about this last year, but now we are. All right? And we also have the whole, new production trends. There's new stuff coming out all the time. I love to see this. I'm like, this is great. This is what I wanted to see, right? This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see all of this new stuff. I expected this. We expected Zebra 3 to be out by now, right? We were all like, oh yeah, Zebra 3, and it became a joke. Then he started making t-shirts about it. He was like, oh yeah, it's just, now we're here. We're literally here. It's cool. So, you have all the tools. That's the other thing, is the tools are here. Okay, whether you choose to use them or not, that's totally up to you. And again, a lot of people who are on the outside, who are not full-fledged artists yet, or let's just say recording artists, right? They think it's just a hobby. I don't want to dump all this money into this hobby that I'm doing if it's not going to give me any return. Listen, it's not about that, okay? What it's about is your satisfaction in the process. That's what really matters, okay? Because as the world changes, as everything outside of you starts to change, if you're solid with who you are inside, that's the only thing that matters. And I love to be the one to tell you this, because this is truly, truly the essence of why we are here on this planet. And I say this as somebody who's, yes, I've been doing ambient music a long time and this is what I do for a living. However, if you're here, you're around that orbit somewhere. right? You're somewhere around this orbit and you're thinking to yourself, yep, that's me too. I don't care if it's the same genre to me. I don't care if it's you just produce, down tempo, whatever, dub techno or chill, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're here. Okay? You're here. You're listening to this. All right? And a lot of people are going to become more interested. There's not going to be less people on the planet interested. There are going to be more people interested. All right? And I guarantee you, as this thing goes on, as this whole world and globe evolves, people are gonna start listening for signal. They're not gonna want noise anymore. And we've already reached that point. I'm probably saying this behind the curve. We've already reached that point where people are gonna have a filter in their brain and they're gonna go, I don't like that. Why? Because they can sense the authenticity in it. You see what I'm saying? They can sense either the lack of authenticity or the actual human being signature that says, that's it. I like it. I like it. You see what I'm saying? So just keep creating it. Just keep putting it out there, because we will never, you and I, we will never reach the numbers of producing tracks that Suno has got right now and Music LM. We'll never get there. Okay? We're never gonna get there. We're not gonna produce 7 million tracks a day. We're not gonna do all that. You know what I'm saying? But all of that is just to say that all of that will just be noise. So you produce your signal, and it doesn't matter if you reach 1 person, 10 people, or 100 people, or 1,000 people. The signal will still be there. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. Because, again, the landscape's gonna change. But if you can produce that signal, that's the most valuable gold on planet Earth. More valuable than RAM, more valuable than 5090s right now, more valuable than fucking data farms full of all this other fucking ones and zeros. You are the signal, not the noise. I hope that's clear, because this is really deep shit. This is really deep shit. You know what I'm saying? It could end tomorrow, and you'd be like, oh, thank God I watched Signs of Life live stream. I got my head right. Thank goodness. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this whole thing. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Sorry I missed you at Buchla, man. I only have 1 car and it's a far drive. And I couldn't leave my kids behind. Yo. Hopefully one of these days, I'm gonna fly down there. And then Don will show up. Good to see you though, good to see you. I can't wait to see the astrophotography, man. All right, this channel. Okay, last slide. So we're gonna be here for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to teleport you guys all over to the Martin Sturzer monthly home concert. So let's continue on our ambient music mission in 2026. Objective number 1, please, without a doubt, please keep releasing original music on Bandcamp. This is not an advertisement for Bandcamp. I am someone who also releases on Bandcamp. This is just telling you that in order to keep the signal alive, you must keep releasing on platforms where the signal is accepted. Okay? And that's a really big point, because how else are we gonna do it? Because you're gonna get real fans who are buying your music, and hopefully that platform stays around for a while. They've made some bad choices in the past 6 months. Hopefully they can correct their mistakes. And, they've also made a good choice too. So it just, it's fine. We're all in this together. Okay? Believe me when I say that. So keep releasing your new original music on Bandcamp. This is what you can do next. You can release EPs, albums, and when you think you're not ready, you are probably ready. Okay, there's never gonna be a moment where you're like, oh yeah, this is it, I've got this thing. Because I guarantee you, just releasing on Bandcamp and leaving it there, no one's gonna listen unless you tell people. Releasing your music on iTunes or Apple Music now and Spotify, no one's gonna listen unless you tell them. Okay? Just become the signal. That's all I'm saying. We're living in vibrational times. So the other thing you can do is build artist and audience connection. Now, one of the most common questions that I get asked is how do I do this if I don't want to be on social media, if I don't want to, I don't want to do any of that. How do I build an artist audience connection? Who told you had to be on camera? Who told you that you had to put your face in front of everybody to get your music heard? Did the internet tell you that? Because I didn't tell you that. Whatever. It's the perception and projection loop. What you perceive, right, and what you project, it comes back around again. So if you think, no one's gonna listen to my music, guess what'll happen? No one will listen to your music. But if you think, oh man, I can't wait to release this music because I'm gonna get a bunch of new people who are gonna listen to this. And here's how I'm gonna do it. And you say to yourself, you really believe in your heart of hearts, this is how I'm gonna do it. This is what's gonna happen. Guess what is going to happen? Reality will say, yeah, okay. Because I believe, thank you so much, Duran, I truly appreciate that. I believe that the universe only knows one word. Do you know what that word is? Yes. It will say yes to everything you possibly could desire. Or it could say yes to everything you don't desire. So if you say, I'm gonna make the best album I've ever made in my life, the universe will say, yeah, you are. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Do it. Yes. And if you say, I'm gonna make this album, but no one's gonna listen to it, the universe will say, yeah, you're right. You're totally right. You see what I'm saying? You see how this works? So the universe will say yes to you every single moment. So make sure that what you're broadcasting to the universe, you already know the answer to. Okay? Because you can make noise all you want. The universe will say, yeah, I got you. I know exactly what you want. Okay? So this is why it's all connected, right? This is why I started the lecture in saying, you know what? AI is going to do its thing. And you know what? There's a lot of people interested in spirituality right now. And you know what? There's a lot of new tools coming out. I wrapped all this up to say that it comes in from inside of you. Okay? There's nothing else that you need to do right now. Because the inner, as within, so without. What happens on the inside of you will be reflected in the outer world, guaranteed. Okay? So make sure that you guys spend enough time inside getting your signal right, so when you do broadcast that signal out, it's gonna be felt on the outside. Okay? I'm not saying you gotta go on some spiritual retreat. I'm not saying you gotta do all this stuff. I'm not saying you gotta do anything else outside of what you're already doing. But you need to start programming yourself in a positive way that's gonna move you forward into this next year and beyond. Because when things start getting really crazy on the outside, really wild on the outside, don't let that reflect what's going on inside of you. When you go to Micro Center or Amazon and you go, I want 64 gigabytes of RAM, and they say, yep, you know what, it's $750. You go, don't let that feeling of like, I'll never get that RAM, I'll never get that graphics card, I'll never get that thing, stop you from doing your mission. Don't let that change your perspective of who you are and why you're here and why you came here to this planet to do what you do. And that's, my friends, that is my State of Ambient address in 2026. It is so important that we make sure that we are solid inside of ourselves, so what happens on the outside will not affect us. And we can say to ourselves, I was here, I did what I came here to do, and I fulfilled my mission. That's what this is all about. Okay? So, I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Like I said, if you did enjoy this presentation, this channel is on Patreon. you can check it out. The links are down below. I do offer one-on-one ambient coaching. I offer a mentorship program. And yeah, I continually keep making preset packs, which are loved by many. So feel free to check it out. The links are down below in the description. Thank you all for being here. I truly appreciate it. You know, this is why I do what I do, and I'm so passionate about it. Because I'm someone who actually gives a shit. And I say that out of pure love and pure admiration for all of you guys. I built this community over the past 4.5 years from a lot of help from many people who are in this audience right now. You know who you are. So thank you. And yeah, I look forward to this year. I am fired up, ready to go. So like I said, it starts on the inside, you guys. It really does. And you know, if you need help actualizing those goals, I'm here for you. And I'll be back soon. I've got my computer now tuned up and ready to go. And I'll be here for you guys this year. So it's gonna be a good one. Anyway, I'm gonna head over to Martin Sturzer's channel right now. Back in the Twitch days, we could raid other channels. We can't do that here on YouTube. But you know, if you wanna join me over there, just look up Martin Sturzer Ambient and I'm sure you'll find it. Let's go listen to some good, old, authentic ambient music together. And I'll be back again soon with more videos like this one. So in the meantime, take good care, you guys. Thank you for being here. And as always, keep your heads in the clouds and your feet planted firmly on the ground. I am Chris from Signs of Life. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.